You all know Dr. Bowman myself, so we don't need introduction.
Yes, sir. And we know you so well. And I have been following your teaching, if you allow me to use that word. I know that you don't like that word very much.
It's all right, sir.
Yes. And from my young days. And I have read most of your books with great interest, deep interest. And I wanted to have this discussion with you for a long time. And I am very happy, very pleased that we got this opportunity today, thanks to Mr. Narayan for arranging all this. I must say that as I have followed your teachings, your books for many years, I must say that for a person who knows Buddha's teaching sufficiently well, your teaching is quite familiar. And for a person like that, it is not a new thing. It is quite familiar. And what the Buddha taught 2,500 years ago, you teach today in a new idiom, new style, and you put his teaching into a new garb. And that is what I feel always when I read your books. And I have written very often, I haven't got the books here, practically most of your books are with me. And when I read your books, very often I write on the margin, compare such and such a teaching of the Buddha. Sometimes I even quote the verse and chapter and verse of the text. And not only Buddha's teaching, the original ancient teaching, but even later Buddhist philosophers' ideas, I will discuss with you later. Even those things you say practically exactly the same. I was surprised how you got these things so well and so beautifully. And to begin with, I want to mention very briefly few points which are common between Buddha's teaching and your teaching. And for instance, Buddha did not accept God who created the world and who rules this world and rewards and punishments people for their actions. You also don't accept that idea, I believe. Then Buddha did not accept the old Vedic, Brahmanic idea of eternal, permanent, everlasting, unchanging soul, Atma. They denied it. And you also, I think, don't accept that soul, that kind of soul. Then Buddha begins his teaching on the ground that human life is in predicament, suffering, conflict, sorrow. And I see in your books you always emphasize that. And then Buddha says that the cause of this conflict, suffering, all that is due to the selfishness which is created by the wrong idea of self, myself, my Atma. And I think you say the same thing. And then Buddha says, when one is free from that desire, attachment, self, he is free from suffering. He is free from conflict. And in fact, you said somewhere, I remember, freedom means freedom from all attachment. You said somewhere. And exactly that is what the Buddha taught. That all attachment, there is no discrimination there. There is no good attachment and bad attachment.
Right.
Of course, relatively there is in our ordinary practical life. But ultimately there is no such division. Then, seeing truth, realization of truth, that is to see things as they are. As the Buddha says in the Buddhist terminology, yatha bhutam, that means as things are.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yatha bhutam. When you see that, you see the reality, you see the truth, and you are free from that conflict. I think this is what very often you say in a discussion, I think between you and Dr. Bohm, I think it is that reality and truth, or
truth and actuality.
Truth and actuality. In that discussion, you have discussed this question. When I read that recently, I thought this is quite well known in Buddhist thought as Sangriti Satya and Paramartha Satya. Sangriti Satya is the conventional truth, Paramartha Satya is the absolute or ultimate truth. And so you can't see the ultimate truth or the absolute truth without seeing the relative or conventional truth. That is the Buddhist attitude.
Yes.
So I think you say the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then one of your, of course this is more in the popular level, but it is very important. You always say that you must not depend on authority, anybody's authority, anybody's teaching. You must realize yourself, you must see it for yourself. This is a teaching very well known in Buddhism. And Buddha told the Kalamas that don't accept anything just because it is given by a religion or scriptures or by a teacher or by guru. Only if you see for yourself that it is right, then accept. If you see it is wrong or bad, then reject. And I remember very interesting discussion you had with Swami Venkatesana.
Yes, sir.
Yes, his point was very much that old idea of guru, importance of guru. But you always said, what can he do? It is your job, your business to do it. A guru can't save you. This is exactly the Buddhist attitude, that you should not accept authority. And after reading, I listened to that also. A friend of mine played that record, the tape. Later on I read in the, I think the book, your book...
The Awakening of Intelligence.
Awakening of Intelligence, okay. The whole thing. After reading, at the end I wrote as from the text, Buddha has said this in two, all this discussion is summarized by the Buddha in 2 lines in the Dhammapada. Tum he kichang adappam akkhadaru tathata. You should make the effort. The Buddha's only teach.
Right.
Yes, this is in the Dhammapada you have read long ago when you were young. Because I found it in Mary Latian's book. Yes. You quoted it somewhere, not this line, but another. Yes. Then another very important thing many people don't understand when you say, I must say this openly, let them know it, which they don't understand, your emphasis in awareness, on awareness, mindfulness. This is a thing in Buddha's teaching very important, extremely important. This is given in the Satipatthana Sutta. To be aware. to be mindful. I myself was surprised when I read in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, that is the discourse, Sutta about the last months of his life. At every point, wherever he stopped and talked to his disciples, he said, always be aware. Cultivate awareness, mindfulness. It is called Satipatthana, that means really presence of awareness, presence of mindfulness. This also is one of your very strong points in your teaching, which I appreciate very much and follow. Then another interesting thing, your emphasis always on impermanent suffering, impermanence. This is one of the fundamental things in Buddha's teaching. Everything is impermanent. There is nothing permanent. And in one place you say exactly freedom, I think it is in the book Freedom from the Unknown I have, to discover nothing is permanent is of tremendous importance, for only then is the mind free. That is exactly in the Four Noble Truths of the Buddha. That when you see that. Then another very interesting small point I want to mention, how your teaching and the Buddha's teaching go together without any conflict. I think in one place, in one Freedom from the Known, in that book, you say, control and outward discipline are not the way, nor has undisciplined life any value. When I read this, I wrote there also on the margin, Buddha told a Brahmin asked the Buddha, how did you attain to these heights of spiritual and intellectual height? By what precepts? By what discipline? By what knowledge did you attain? Buddha said, not by knowledge, not by discipline, not by precepts, not by vows, nor without them. That is the important thing. He said, not by these things, but not without them also. Exactly what you say, you condemn this slavery to discipline, but without discipline, life has no value. That is exactly in Zen, which is Buddhism after all. There is nothing called Zen Buddhism. Zen is Buddhism. Yes. In Zen, the discipline, this attachment and slavery, that is very much condemned. But there is no Buddhist sect in the world, I think, where discipline is so much emphasized. I think Dr. Schlegel will say about this later. Therefore, all these things, we have many other things to talk, but to begin with, I want to say that these things, these fundamental things, are quite in agreement, and there is no conflict between you and the Buddha. Of course, you are not a Buddhist, as you say. No, and I myself don't know what am I, that it does not matter, but your teaching and the Buddha's teaching, there is hardly a conflict. Only you say the same thing in a fascinating way for the man today, for the modern man. And now I would like to know what you think about all this.
May I say, sir, with due respect, why you compare?
No, this is because when I read your books, as a Buddhist scholar, as one who has studied Buddhist texts, I always see it is the same thing.
Yes, sir. But if I may ask, what is the necessity of comparing?
There is no necessity at all.
If you are not a scholar of Buddhism and all the sutras and the sayings of the Buddha, if you are just not scholarly and gone very deeply into Buddhism, how would it strike you reading this without the background of all that?
That I can't tell you, because I was never without that background.
So that
It is a condition. You are putting, it is a condition. We are all conditioned.
That's right.
Yes, therefore I can't answer that question, because I don't know what would be the position.
So, if I may point out, I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all. Yes.
Does knowledge condition human beings? Knowledge of scriptures, knowledge of what saints have said, and so on, so on, so on, the whole gamut of so-called sacred books. Does that help man at all?
It certainly, scriptures and all our knowledge condition. There is no doubt. It condition.
It is
Conditioning. But I should say that knowledge is not absolutely unnecessary.
Absolutely.
Not unnecessary. And it is just like this. Buddha has pointed out this very clearly. You want to cross the river. There is no bridge, but you make a boat for yourself and you cross with the help of the boat. Going to the other shore, if you think, oh, this boat has been very useful to me, very helpful to me, I can't leave it here, I will carry it, and you put it on your shoulder. And he asked the bhikkhus, is that man acting rightly? He said, no. Then, what you should do is, you say, of course this boat was very helpful to me, but I have crossed. Now it is no more useful to me, and I leave it here for somebody else to leave. That is the attitude for knowledge and learn. Buddha says even the teaching, not only that, even the virtues, so-called virtues, moral virtues, are also like the boat. And they have a relative value and conditioned value.
I would like to question.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting what you are saying, sir, but I like to question whether knowledge in its actual sense has liberating quality of the mind.
I don't think knowledge can liberate.
Has the quality, sir. Knowledge can't, but the quality that you derive from knowledge, the strength, the sense of capacity, the sense of value, the feeling that you know, the weight of knowledge. Doesn't that strengthen the self.
Certainly. Certainly.
So, will knowledge actually does knowledge actually condition man? Let's put it that way.
Knowledge, yes, certainly. It
Yeah,
conditions.
so,
Yes.
the word knowledge, we mean, surely both of us and all of us surely mean the accumulation of information, accumulation of experience, accumulation of various facts and theories and principles, the past and the present. All that bundle we call knowledge.
Yeah.
Does then the past help? Because knowledge is the past.
All that past, all that knowledge disappears the moment you see the truth.
No, can a mind that's burdened with knowledge see truth?
Of course, if the mind is burdened and clouded and covered with knowledge, in
But
that condition, yes.
So it is, generally it is. Most minds are filled and crippled with knowledge. I'm using the word cripple in the sense that weighed down.
Yes, yes.
Can such a mind perceive what is true? Or must it be free from knowledge?
To see the truth, mind must be free from all knowledge, all conditions.
So why should one accumulate knowledge and then abandon it and then seek truth? You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. I think that is in our life, even when we take our ordinary life, most of the things which we abandon are useful at the beginning. And for instance, in our studies, as children, at school, we can't write without rules.
Of course.
But today I can't write on ruled paper.
No.
No.
But
if I, at that stage...
wait a minute, sir. I agree. I agree. When you're at school, college and university, we need lines. Lines to write.
Yes.
And all the rest of it. But does not the beginning matter enormously?
I beg your pardon?
Does not a beginning
Yes.
matter enormously, which might condition as he grows up? You understand what I'm trying to do? I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
No.
Does freedom lie at the end or at the beginning?
It has no beginning, no end.
No, therefore,
Freedom has no beginning, no end. And
would you say is freedom limited by knowledge?
Freedom is not limited by knowledge. Perhaps knowledge which is wrongly applied or acquired may obstruct freedom.
No, there is no wrong or right accumulation of knowledge. I may do certain ugly things and repent or carry on with those ugly things, which again is part of my knowledge.
Yes.
So I'm asking if knowledge leads to freedom. As you say, discipline is necessary at the beginning.
That's right.
That's right. And as you grow older, mature, acquire capacities and so on, that discipline, has it not conditioned the mind so that it can never abandon discipline in the usual sense of that word?
Yes, I fully quite understand. You agree that discipline at the beginning, at a certain level, is necessary.
I question that. When I say I question it, I don't mean I doubt it or it's not necessary, but I question it in order to inquire.
Yes, I should say at a certain level it is necessary. And if you cannot abandon it ever, now for instance, I am talking from the Buddhist point of view, and when you take, there are two words in Buddhism with regard to the way, Saiksha and Asaiksha. Saiksha is all those people who are on the way, not yet arrived. Okay. That means that all those disciplines, perception, all those things, good and bad, right and wrong. And Arahant, who has realized the truth, is called Asaiksha. He has no discipline.
No, but
he is beyond that.
Yes, I understand this.
Yes. But I mean to say that is a fact in life.
I question that, sir.
I have no doubt about it in my mind.
And then we stopped inquiring.
No, it is not so.
No, I mean, we are talking about knowledge. Knowledge being useful or necessary as a boat to cross the river. I want to inquire into that fact or into that simile, whether it is the truth.
Whether it is the truth.
Truth. Whether it is whether it has the quality of truth. Let's put it that way. For the moment, I'm putting it.
You mean that simile or that teaching?
The whole of that. Which means, just a minute, which means accepting evolution.
Yes.
Right?
Accepting evolution.
Evolution.
Yes.
Gradually,
Yes.
step by step, advancing.
Yes.
And ultimately reaching.
Yes.
Right? First, I discipline, control, effort, and as I get more capacity, more energy, more strength, I abandon it and move on.
Yes. There is no plan like that.
No?
There is no plan. There is no program like that.
I'm not saying that there is a plan. I am asking for inquiry.
Yes.
whether there is such movement, such progress at all.
What do you think?
What do I feel? No.
I agree very much with you.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
Yes. There is no progress.
No, we must go into it very carefully, sir. Because the whole tradition, both Buddhist, Hindu and Christian, all the religious and non-religious attitude is caught up in time, in evolution. I say, I will be better. I will be good. I will eventually blossom in goodness. Right?
Yes.
I am saying in that there is a root of untruth in it. There is untruth in it. Sorry to put it that way.
May I for a moment,
Yes.
please, Carmen? I entirely agree with that.
You disagree?
Entirely agree.
Agree.
For the very good reason and that ever since human beings have existed as far as we know, we have always known in our different contexts that we should be good. If it would be possible to progress by something like this, we would not be the human beings that we are nowadays. We would all have progressed sufficiently.
Have we progressed at all?
That is precisely, we have not progressed, if at all, very little.
We may have progressed technologically,
Yes.
and scientifically, hygienic and all the rest of it. But psychologically, inwardly, we are not what we were 10,000 years ago or more.
And so the fact that we know that we should do good and have evolved so many systems of how to do it has not managed to help us to become precisely that. And there is as I see, there is a specific obstacle in all of us. And it is this obstacle that needs, because we do, quite honestly, from our very heart, most of us want to be good, but most of us do not bring it off.
No, but I would
This
like...
is working through, which seems to me at stake.
You see, we have accepted evolution. Biologically, there is evolution. And we have transferred that biological fact into psychological existence. Thinking psychologically, we will evolve.
I don't think that is the attitude. No. That is
But that's what it means.
no.
When you say gradually,
No, I don't say gradually. I don't say that. The realization of truth, attainment of truth,
yes,
or seeing the truth,
yes,
is a thing without a plan, without a scheme,
is out of time.
out of time,
Now,
out of time.
out of time,
Yes, exactly, out of time.
which means then my mind, which has evolved through centuries, millennia, which is conditioned by time, which is evolution,
Yes,
which is the acquiring of knowledge, more,
yes.
will reveal the extraordinary truth.
It is not that knowledge which will reveal.
Therefore, why should I accumulate knowledge?
But how can you avoid it?
Psychologically about it, not technologically.
Yes, even psychologically, how can you do that?
That's a different matter.
Yes, how can you do? Because you are conditioned.
No,
We are
wait a
all
minute, sir.
conditioned.
Wait a minute, let's go into a little more. Am I all right, sir?
Fine.
And biologically, physically, from childhood up to a certain age, maturity, adolescence, and so on. That's a fact.
Yes.
Little oak tree goes into a gigantic oak tree. That's a fact. And is it a fact? Or we have created, assumed it is so, psychologically we must grow. Which is, psychologically, eventually, I will achieve truth. Or truth will take place. If I prepare the ground.
No. No. That is a wrong conclusion you have come to. That is a wrong conclusion. It is that the realization of truth is a revolution, not an evolution.
No, therefore, why, you understand, so can the mind be free of this idea of progress, psychologically?
I beg your pardon?
Can the mind be free psychologically of this idea of progress?
It can be.
No, not can be. It must be, otherwise you go.
That is what I told you, the revolution.
And
That revolution
no,
is not evolution, gradual progress.
So psychologically, can there be a revolution?
Yes. Yes, certainly.
Which means what? No time.
There's no time.
But all the religions, all the scriptures, whether it's Islam, whatever it is,
Yes.
have maintained you must go through certain systems.
But not Buddhism.
No, sir, wait a minute, I wouldn't even call Buddhism. I don't know, I've never read except when I was a boy about, but it's gone out of my mind. But when you say eventually you must discipline first and let go of that discipline,
No, I don't say that. No, I don't postulate like that. And nor did Buddha postulate.
then please, I may be mistaken. How do you consider?
I ask you, how do you proceed?
Proceed with what?
The realization of truth. How do you do that? Tell me.
That's a different matter.
Yes, tell me how do you do that?
And that's quite a different matter.
Yes. I mean, just not like that. What I say is that we are conditioned. Nobody can avoid that, however much he tries. And the revolution is to see that you are conditioned.
Sir, all right, let's put
That
it.
the moment you see that, it has no time.
All right.
And it is entire evolution, and that's the truth.
Suppose one is conditioned in the pattern of evolution, I have been, I am, I shall be. That's the evolution. No?
Yes.
You understand? I was ugly yesterday, but today I'm learning about that ugliness and freeing myself, and tomorrow I'll be free of it. Right? That is our whole attitude, psychological structure of our being. This is everyday fact.
If you see that,
We see that, right?
no. See, you see, understanding is one thing. Intellectually, verbally.
No, I'm not talking either intellectually or verbally. This is a fact. I will try to be good.
There is no question of trying to be good.
No. But not according to the Buddha, not according to scriptures, but average human being of everyday life.
Yes.
He says, I am not as good as I should be.
Yes.
But eventually, give me a couple of weeks or a couple of years, and I'll be awfully good.
Oh, certainly, that is the attitude of the people.
Of practically everybody.
Practically everybody. I fully agree.
Now wait a minute. That is our condition.
Yes.
The Christian, the Buddhist, the whole world is conditioned by this idea, which may have come from the biological progress, moved into the psychological field. Right?
Yes, that is right.
Now, how is a man or woman, how is a human being to, without time, break this pattern? You understand my question?
Yes. It is only by seeing.
No. I can't see if I'm caught in this blasted ugliness of progress.
Yes.
And you say it's only by seeing. I say I can't see.
Then you can't.
No, but I want to inquire. I want to inquire into it, sir.
Yes.
That is, why have we given progress in the codes such importance psychologically?
I'm not a scholar, but I come from the practice side. May I come in for a moment, please? I'm a practicer, but I have done my practice in a Buddhist field. And to me personally, as a Westerner, as a one-time scientist, I have found the most satisfactory answer in the Buddhist teaching that I blind myself. I am my own obstacle. As long as I, with all my bundle of conditioning, am here, I cannot see. And it seems to be a possibility of...
That doesn't help. You're saying that I've learned that.
I have learned that, but I have learned it by, in the same way as one learns to play the piano, rather than in the way of studying a subject. That is the point that I would like to contribute.
No, again you're going back to playing the piano, which needs practice.
Yes,
Not practice, sorry. Good pianists don't practice, I'm being told.
But they must have practiced in order to become it.
So what are we talking about at the end of this?
There seems to be one difficulty in this. Knowledge has certain fascination, a certain power. One accumulates knowledge, whether it's Buddhist or scientific, and it gives you a peculiar sense of freedom, though it is not freedom. It's more in the realm of conventional freedom. And after years of study, one finds it very difficult to get out of this. because through years, 20, 25 years, you arrive at this and you value it, and it hasn't got the quality of what you might call truth. And the difficulty with all practice seems to be that when you practice, you achieve something, and the with achievement is of the conventional reality type. It has got certain power, certain fascination, certain capacity, maybe certain clarity.
I might tell you get attached to it.
Yes. And to break away from it is much more difficult than for a beginner. A beginner who has not got these things may see something more directly than a man who has so much of acquired wisdom.
Maybe.
I'm just, is it so?
That depends on the individual. You can't generalize.
No, one cannot. Yes.
One can, sir, from the point out, one can generalize as a principle.
As a principle, in which way?
I mean, let's come back to it. We're all caught in this idea of progress, right? Let
us come to an agreement on that point, that the humanity accepts as a fact.
Yeah.
Progress is a gradual evolutionary matter.
Yes.
So, as you said, biologically they accepted and proved, so they apply the same theory to psychological.
Yeah.
That I fully agree, it is the humanity's position.
But so I say, is that the truth? If I may have accepted biological progress, biological evolution, which I have gradually transferred to psychological existence. Now, I say, is that the truth?
Yes. Now I see your question. I don't think it is true.
Therefore, just a minute, therefore, I abandon the whole idea of discipline.
When you see that...
No.
No, I should say that there is no question of abandoning.
What?
If you abandon it consciously...
No, sir, just a minute. I see what human beings have done, which is move from the biological to the psychological. And there they have invented this idea that eventually you will come to Godhead, or evolution, enlightenment, and reach Brahman, reach whatever it is, Nirvana, and paradise, or hell also.
Yes.
If when a human being sees the falseness of it, actually not theoretically, then it's finished.
Absolutely, that is what I tell you all this time.
Therefore, why should I then acquire knowledge of scriptures, of this or that, psychologically?
This is not necessary.
Then why do I read the Buddha?
That is what I told you, we are all conditioned.
I may say to you, to ask the question that, do you accept that we are all conditioned?
Dr. Boma asks, do we all accept that we are conditioned?
I don't know whether you accept or not, I accept.
No.
And there is nobody in time. To be in time is to be conditioned. And
no, Dr. Bhumi is asking the implication of his question is, need I translate what you
Well,
Go on, sir.
Well,
it's your show now.
Well, I merely say that, how can I put it? I think that Krishnanji has said, at least in some of our discussions, that he was not deeply conditioned in the beginning, right? And that therefore he had a certain insight which would not be common. I mean, is that fair?
I don't find.
No, he's referring to me, sir. Leave the.
Yeah.
I may be a biological freak, so leave me out of it. That's not totally important. What we are trying to discuss is this. That psychologically can we admit the truth that there is no movement forward. The truth of it, not the idea of it.
Yes.
You understand what I said, sir?
I understand.
The truth of it, not I accept the idea of it. The idea is not the truth.
Yes. No.
So, do we as human beings see the truth or the falseness of what we have done?
You mean human beings generally?
The whole world.
No, they don't see.
Therefore,
no, certainly not.
So, when you are telling them, get more knowledge, read this, read that, scripture, what the Buddha said, what Christ said if he existed at all, and so on, they are full of this accumulative instinct which will help them to jump or propel themselves into heaven. What is that I say? Huh?
Yes. You want to say?
Oh, well, when we say we are all conditioned, right, is that how do we establish how do we know that we are all conditioned? That's really what I'm
question is, sir, are all human beings conditioned?
That is a very complicated question. As long as our society is concerned, all are conditioned. There can't be anybody who is not conditioned, because it is within time. But what we are talking is the realization truth, which has no time and which is unconditioned. That you can't say it is the human being as you take humanity.
But I really wanted to emphasize that if we say we are all conditioned, there could be two ways. You see, one way would be to look accumulating knowledge about our conditioning, right? To say that we observe the common human experience, and we can look at people and see that they are generally conditioned, right? And the other way would be to say, do we directly see, in a more direct way, that we are all conditioned? That's really what I was trying to drive at.
And that, of course, I should say, there are people who see that.
But does that, sir, help in this matter? I mean,
Well,
They may be or they may not be.
yeah, but
Kilosa. I mean,
see, the only point I was trying to make was that if we say we are all conditioned, then I think that there's nothing else to do but some kind of disciplined or gradual approach. That is, you begin with your conditioning and...
not necessarily, I don't see that.
Well, let's try to pursue it. I mean, that's the way I take your question, the implication of his question, you know, I mean, Dr. Rahula's question, that if we begin all conditioned,
which we are,
then what can we do for the next step?
There is nothing called next step.
Right, well, how can we be sure, you know, how can we be free of the conditioning as we do whatever we do?
The freedom from conditioning is to see.
Well, same question, how do we see?
That of course, many people have tried various ways.
No,
Of saying.
No, there are no various ways. The moment you say a way, you've already conditioned it.
That is what I say. All that is finished. That is what I say. And you are also conditioning by your talk.
But
what I say is your talks,
your
lectures and teachings also are conditioning. Trying to uncondition the mind is also conditioning.
I question that statement. Whether what we are talking about conditions the mind.
Yes, condition of mind, yes.
Mind being the brain, the thought, the feelings, the whole human psychological existence.
Yes.
Whether what K is talking about conditions the mind. I doubt it. I question it.
I think
we are, if I may say, we are going off from the central issue.
Yes. And the question is how to see it. Is that so?
No, sir. No, not how. There is no how. First, let us see these simple facts. Do I, as a human being, and therefore representative of all humanity, right? I am a human being, right? And therefore I represent all humanity, right?
In an individual way.
No, as a human being, I represent you and the whole world. Because I suffer, I go through agony, mental, etc., so does every human being. So, do I, as a human being, see the false step human beings have taken, moving from the biological to the psychological, with the same mentality? Their progress, from the little to the big and so on and so on, from the wheel to the jet. As a human being, do I see the mischief that human beings have created moving from there to this. You understand?
Yes, yes, I follow.
Do I see it as I see the table? Or is it, yes, I accept the theory of it, the idea of it, and then we are lost. I don't know if I'm...
Yes, yes, sir. I quite...
Therefore, the idea, the theory is the knowledge.
If I see it as I see this table, then it is not the theory anymore.
It's a fact. But the moment you move away from the fact, it becomes idea, knowledge, and pursuit of it.
And has further and further pictures.
Further away from the fact.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
Yes, quite so. Yes, that is so.
What is? That human beings move away.
Human beings are caught up in that.
No. So, it is a fact, isn't it, that there is biological progress. Little tree to a gigantic tree. From a baby, all the rest of it. Boyhood, adolescence, right. Now, have we moved with that mentality, with that idea, with that fact into the psychological field and create there the fact that we progress, which is a false movement?
Are you saying that is part of the conditioning?
No, I don't leave the conditioning for the moment. I don't enter into that. So, would you say, why have we moved from, taken over from the biological growth into the psychological growth? Why? Which is a fact. Why have we done this?
I want to become something.
Which is, you want satisfaction,
yes.
You want safety, certainty, a sense of achievement.
And it is in that want that
So,
pushes
does a human being see what he has done, actually, not theoretically?
as an ordinary human.
You are X, Y, you.
I do not like to see it. I do fear it.
Therefore, you are living in an illusion.
Naturally.
Why?
I want to be something.
No.
Which I fear at the same time not to see. This is where the why is.
You have a false fear. There is no fear.
It is
Actually, no, madam. When you see that what you have done, there is no fear.
But the fact is that
But
I usually
why don't
do
you-
not see.
Why don't you see?
I suspect because of fear. I don't know why. I don't want it.
You're entering into quite a different field of fear. But I just would like to know, as an inquiry, why human beings have done this, played this game for millennia. You understand, sir? Why? This false, living in this false structure. And then people come around and say, be unselfish, be this and all the rest of it.
Why?
We have a very strong, all we human
No,
beings,
no.
we have a very strong irrational side in us, and an irrational side. I think that cannot
I question all this. If
You
we have,
question it.
because we are living not with facts but with ideas and knowledge.
Certainly.
Not with fact. The fact is biologically there is, psychologically there isn't. And so we give importance to knowledge, ideas, theories, philosophy, and all the rest of it.
You don't agree at all, you don't see at all that a certain development, evolution, even psychologically,
No.
a man who has been a very undesirable criminal, telling lies and doing stealing and all these things, you explain to him certain very fundamental, very elementary things, and he is changed into, in our conventional sense, to a better man. Now he does not steal, now he doesn't tell lies, he doesn't try to kill others.
He is a terrorist.
Pardon?
Terrorist.
The man who is changed like that.
Yeah. Are you saying, sir, a man who is evil in quotes,
Yes.
the terrorists that are going around the world,
Yes.
what is their future? Are you asking that?
No. Don't you agree? A criminal, accepted sense.
Accepted word criminal, yes.
Yes, criminal. You meet a criminal like that. You explain to him the wrong way that he lives, and he realizes what you said, either because of ideas he realized or because of your personal influence or whatever it may be. He transforms himself, he changes himself, and
I am not sure, sir. I am not sure a criminal, in the orthodox sense of that word, whether you can talk to him at all.
that I don't know. What
I mean, you can pacify him. You say, don't, give him a reward on this and that. But an actual criminal-minded man, will he ever listen to any sanity? The terrorists, sir, the terrorists, will he listen to you, to your sanity? Of course not.
that you can't see. I am not so positive about it.
That's what is happening, sir.
I have no proof. I can't say.
I have no proof either, but you can see what is happening.
What is happening is there are terrorists,
Yes.
and we don't know whether any terrorist was transformed and converted to be a good man. We have no statistics about it.
You see, that's my whole thing. The bad man evolved into good man.
That, in the popular sense and conventional sense, certainly there is. I can't deny that.
I don't quite follow.
A bad man,
Quotes, bad man.
yes, that's right, within inward commas, bad man or a criminal, changing his way of life, and
Yes.
becoming a good man also within inverted commas, good.
Yes. Yes,
That-
we
that-
know that. We have dozens of examples.
And
A man
but
who's...
don't you accept that at all?
But, no, wait a minute, sir, wait a minute. Bad man who tells lies, who does cruel things, and so on. He says one day, probably he realizes that's ugly business, and I says I'll change, I'll become good. But that is not goodness. Goodness is not born out of badness.
No, bad man certainly not.
Huh?
Certainly not.
Therefore, the bad man in quotes can never become the good man, non-quotes.
No, I would quote also.
Goodness is not the opposite of the bad.
At that level it is.
At any level.
I don't agree.
And you see,
I don't
Or
see.
we might put it this way: in the reality level,
ordinary level.
conventional level,
Yes.
the bad man becomes the good man.
Yes.
I think we carry that phrase, that attitude to the progress psychologically. That's one thing we do. The human mind does.
That is what we were taught.
Yes.
That is transfer of this idea
Into the-
to psychological level.
Yes.
no, I would like to...
The other.
Sir, what are you going to say something?
Now, the other thing is, we seem to feel that psychological progress is the only way the bad man becomes the good man at the relative level.
I don't want even to... You see,
Yes.
Narayan, you are making it again a relative thing. Right? Sir, may I put it this way? Is there an opposite?
At relative
No,
level?
no. At any level. Psychological, of course. You are wearing yellow, I'm wearing brown, and so on. The opposite, light and day, man, woman, and so on, so on. But is there an opposite of fear? Is there an opposite of goodness? Is there an opposite? Is love opposite of hate?
Yes. If you ask me.
Opposite.
Yes, that's
which
right.
means duality.
Yes, certainly. I would say this way. We are talking in dualistic terms.
All language
Is dualistic.
Language is dualistic as it
Yes,
is.
you can't
Yes, sir.
talk, I can't talk without dualistic.
Yes, sir. Comparing, judging.
Yes.
But I'm not talking
And the moment you speak about the absolute, the ultimate,
No, sir, I like...
when we talk good and bad, we are talking in the dualistic level.
No, that's why I want to move on.
You can't talk about the absolute
No,
good or bad.
no.
There is nothing called absolute good or bad.
No, sir. Is courage the opposite? What is the opposite of courage?
Of fear.
Fear. Is courage the opposite of fear? That is, if fear is non-existent, is it courage? or it is something totally different.
Something perfectly different.
Therefore, it's not the opposite. Goodness is never the opposite of bad. So, what are we talking about when we say I will move, change from my conditioning, which is bad, to freedom from condition, which is good? Therefore, freedom is the opposite of my conditioning. Therefore, it is not freedom at all. That freedom is born out of my conditioning. Because I am caught in this prison and I want to be free. It's a reaction to the prison, which is not freedom.
I don't quite.
So, could we consider for a minute, is love the opposite of hate? If it
Only
is,
thing is you can say is, where there is love, there is no hatred.
No, I'm asking quite a different question. I'm asking, is hate the opposite of affection, love? If it is, then in that affection, in that love, there is hate. Because it's born out of hate, out of the opposite. All opposites are born out of their own opposites. No?
I don't know. That is what you say.
But it's a fact, sir. Look, I'm afraid. And I cultivate courage in order to put away fear. I take a drink or, all the rest of it to get rid of fear. And at the end of it, I say I'm very courageous. All the war heroes and all the rest of them are given medals for this because they're frightened. And they say, we must go and kill, do something, and they're very courageous heroes.
That is not courage.
I'm saying
that is not courage.
Anything born out of its opposite contains its own opposite.
How?
So if someone hates and then says, I must love, right? That love is born out of hate, because he knows what hate is. And he says, I must not be that, and I must be that. So that is the opposite of this. Therefore, that opposite contains this.
I don't know whether it is the opposite.
That's how we live, sir. This is what we do. I am sexual, I must not be sexual. I take a vow of celibacy, people take a vow of celibacy, which is the opposite.
Yeah.
So we are always caught in this corridor of opposites. And I question the whole corridor. I don't think it exists. We have invented it. But actually it doesn't exist. I mean, please, this is explanation, don't accept anything, sir. No.
Personally, from the way in which where I stand at this moment, see it, and I claim no possibilities for either the truth of it or something, as a working hypothesis.
No, you can
I see this channel as a humanizing factor.
Good.
This channel of opposites. We are all in it.
No, that's not humanizing factor. It's like saying, I've been a tribal entity, now I've become a nation,
No.
and then ultimately international. It's still tribalism going on.
I quite agree. I see it in the sense that at a really barbaric stage, I could have laughed when you had broken your leg and were it open. Nowadays, I could not laugh anymore.
Yes, well, she's
in that sense.
saying that we do actually, I think both of you are saying we do in some sense make progress. I think in the sense that we are not as barbaric as we were before. Right?
That's what is the humanizing factor.
That's what I think they're both saying.
I don't like to go to extremes of that.
I'm not. This is not extreme. This is just facts. Facts are not extreme.
Are you saying that this is not a genuine progress? You see that, say, in the past people were far more barbaric generally than they are today, right? And therefore, would you say that really doesn't mean very much?
I don't quite follow it.
Well, some people would point to the past and say there was a great deal of barbarism then.
We are still barbaric.
Yes, we are, but some people say we are not as barbaric as...
Not as barbaric.
Well, let's see if we can get it straight. Now, would you say that that is not important? I mean, that is not significant?
No. When I say I'm better than I was,
yes,
it has no meaning.
You say that has no meaning to say that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. It has no meaning.
I think we should clarify that.
In the relative dualistic sense, I don't accept that.
I know.
I can't see that. But in the absolute, ultimate sense, there is nothing like that.
No, not ultimately. I won't even accept that word ultimately. I see how the opposite is born in everyday life, not ultimately. I'm greedy. That's a fact. I try to become non-greedy, which is non-fact. But if I remain with fact, I'm greedy, then I can do something about it. Actually, now. Therefore, there is no opposite. So, violence or non-violence. Non-violence is the opposite of violence. Right? And as an ideal. Right? So, that non-violence is non-fact. Violence is the only fact. Right? So I can then deal with facts, not with non-facts.
So what is your point?
My point is, there is no duality, even in daily life. It's the invention of all these philosophers, intellectuals, say there is the opposite. Work for that. The utopians, the idealists. The fact is I'm violent, that's all. Let me deal with that. And to deal with it, don't invent non-violence.
And the question therefore is, how am I now going to deal with it?
Huh?
Having accepted the fact that I'm violent,
No, not accepted. It is a fact.
having seen it,
Wait, then we can proceed. I'll show you.
and the question is how to proceed.
We'll proceed with that. But first, I must see what I have done. I avoid the fact and run away to non-fact. Right? That's what's happening in the world. All of us. So, don't run, but remain with the fact. Can you do it?
It's part of our training.
Huh?
That is part of the training that that is
I'm
precisely...
sorry, I won't accept the word training.
Well, it is precisely this, can you do it?
I say, of course you can do it.
And one does it, though one very often does not like doing it.
No. It's like seeing something dangerous. And you say, it's dangerous, I won't go near it. Running away from the fact is dangerous. Finish. You don't run. That doesn't mean you train, you practice not to run. You don't run. I think the gurus have invented this running, the philosophers. So,
There is no running. That is entirely different. It is a wrong way of putting it.
no, sir, no. No, I'm not putting
You can't
on.
run away.
I'm saying, look,
If you see it, there is no running away.
I'm saying, don't run.
That's what I'm
Then you see.
Yes.
No, don't run. Then you see. But we say, I can't see because I'm caught in that.
No, I quite see that. What you say, your point, I see very well.
So, there is no duality.
Where?
Now, in daily life, not ultimately,
What is duality?
which is the opposite, violence and non-violence. Whole of, so, India has been practicing non-violence, which is nonsense. There is only violence. Let me deal with that. Let human beings deal with violence, not with the ideal of non-violence.
Yes, that is of course is a quite different question, what you are talking.
No.
I fully agree. If you see the fact, this is the fact.
Therefore,
we must handle this.
Therefore, there is no progress.
Pardon?
Therefore, there is no progress.
That is a word that you can use anyway.
No, not
It
anyway.
is simply a word.
No, sir. No, sir. When we have an ideal, to achieve that ideal, I need time. Right?
Yes.
Therefore, I will evolve to that. So no ideals. Only facts.
It is perfectly so.
Huh?
What is the difference? Are you? I mean, we agree.
That-
There are only facts.
Which means, to look at facts, time is not necessary.
Absolutely not.
Therefore, if time is not necessary, I can see it now.
Yes, certainly.
You can see it now.
Yes.
Why don't you?
Why don't you? That is another question.
No.
Yes.
No, not another question.
So if you take it seriously that time is not necessary, right?
Yes.
Then right now one could perhaps clear up the whole thing.
Yes. That does not mean whole humanity will do it. There are people who can do it.
No. If I can see it, you can see it.
I don't think so. I don't agree with you.
No,
Frankly.
no, this is not a question of agreement, sir. I'm not trying to argue about this matter, so there's no agreement or disagreement. But when we have ideals away from facts, time is necessary to get there. Progress is necessary. I must acknowledge progress. All that comes in. Right? So, can you abandon ideals?
It is possible.
And not possible. Moment you use the word possible, your time, you say time is enough.
I mean, the seeing the fact.
Do it now. Do it, sir. Not, forgive me.
Yes.
I'm not being authoritarian. When you say it's possible, you've already moved away.
Yes. I mean to say that I must say that everybody can't do it.
How do you know?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
No, I won't accept that.
May I perhaps come in with a concrete example? I think we can possibly come together on that. If I stand on a high, concrete fact, on a high springboard over a swimming pool, and I'm told that I cannot swim, and I'm told just jump in and relax completely. The water will carry you.
No.
This is perfectly true. I can do it. There is nothing that prevents me except that I'm frightened in doing it.
Yes. Or you may,
That is, I
you
think,
may
the
drop.
point in question. Yes. And therefore, this is, I think, the question. Of course we can oversee it. There's no difficulty. But it is this basic fear, which does not stand to reason, that makes us shy away.
We're not talking, please forgive me, we're not saying that. Why don't you, if one realizes that one is greedy, why do we invent non-greed?
I wouldn't know, because it
I
seems
would-
to me so obvious that if I'm greedy, then I am greedy.
Now, why do we have the opposite? Why? All religions say mustn't be greedy. All philosophers, if they are worth their salt, they say don't be greedy. Or something else. Or if you are greedy, you will not reach heaven. So they have always cultivated, through tradition, through saints, a whole big gamut of it, cultivated this idea, the opposite. Right? So I don't accept that. I say that's an escape from this.
Which it is.
Right?
It is a halfway stage at best.
It's an escape from this. Right? And it won't solve this problem.
It hasn't solved.
It hasn't. So, to deal with the problem, remove that. I can't have one foot there and one foot here. I must have both my feet here.
And if both my feet are
No. Simile. So I'm no opposite, which implies time, progress, practice, try, becoming, the whole gamut of it.
So I see, I'm greedy.
Huh?
So I see, I'm greedy.
Now,
Or I'm violent.
yeah, so what that requires, now we have to go into something entirely different.
And then what?
How is one, a human being, not how, can a human being be free of greed now? That's the question. Not eventually. You see, I'm not interested in being greedy next life. Who cares? Or day after tomorrow. I'm not interested in it. I want to be free of sorrow, pain now. So I have no ideals at all. Right, sir? Then I have only this fact. I'm greedy. Now, do we go into that? What is greed? The very word is condemnatory. Right, sir? Right? The word has been in my mind for centuries, and that word, greed, immediately condemns the fact. Right? By saying I am greedy, I've already condemned it. Right? Now, can I look at that fact without the word, with all its intimation, with all its content, with its tradition? Look at it. You cannot understand the depth of the feeling of greed or be free of it if you're caught in words. So as my whole being is concerned with greed, it says, all right, I won't be caught in it. I won't use the word greed. Right? Now, is that feeling devoid of the word, divorced from the word, greed?
No, it isn't.
It has no word.
No. So, as my mind is full of words, and the caught in words, can it look at something, greed, without the word?
That is really seeing the fact.
Then only I see the fact.
Pardon?
Then only I see the fact.
Yes, that's without
Therefore-
word. Without the word.
Therefore it has no value.
Yes.
Finished. This is where the difficulty lies, sir. I want to be free of greed, because it's my blood, it's my tradition, it's my upbringing, education, everything is be free of that ugly thing. So, I am all the time making an effort to be free of that. Right? I am not educated, thank God, in those slides. So I say, all right, I've only a fact. The fact is I'm greedy. Right? I want to understand the nature and the structure of that word, of that feeling. What is it? What is the nature of that feeling? Is it a remembrance? Do you understand? If it's a remembrance, I am looking at it, the present greed, with past remembrances. The past remembrances have said condemn it. Can I look at it without past remembrances?
Exactly.
I'm going to show you to the house. Right, sir?
Yes, if you can see without, are you continuing? Yes.
I'll show you, go into a little more. Because the past remembrance condemns this, and therefore strengthens this. Right? If it is something new, I won't condemn it. But because it is not, it is new but made old by remembrances, by memories, by experience, I condemn it. So can I look at it without the word, without the association of words? That doesn't need discipline, that doesn't need practice, that doesn't need some guide, just to say, look, can I look at that without the word? Can I look at that tree, woman, man, sky, heaven, bird, without the word? And find out. But someone comes along, tells me, I'll show you how to do it. Then I'm lost. I don't know. And how to do it is the whole sacred books. Sorry. All the gurus, all the bishops, the popes, and whole caboodle. So, do we stop now?
Yes, sir, I think we'll stop now.
It's now, by Jove, we've been talking an hour and a half.
Yes, that depends on you. I am very much interested. I am not tired at all.
We better keep it for tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, yes. And there are,
Don't let's overeat.
yes, several other things that I would like to ask you.
Yes, sir, we'll go
Yes, tomorrow morning and afternoon.
to-